Hello and welcome to Big Foodie Geek. I hope you're well. Now, a couple of months ago on the channel, I tested out Chat GPT, an AI where you can basically go on and ask it to do anything text-based within reason. And I asked it to help me out cooking pork knuckle because I had never made it before, and I thought, can AI help me out by creating me a recipe for pork knuckle which I never cooked before? And it did a pretty good job of it. Not perfect by any means, but it was pretty good. But I thought, let's try it out on something a little bit more accessible, something that everyone loves, and that's cookies. I thought, can Chat GPT help me make the perfect cookie? So that's what I asked it to do. I asked it to write me a recipe for the best cookie in the world ever. No room for maneuver there. And I asked it to do it in metric because metric's the best system. It spat me out a recipe, and the first thing I noticed, it's a chocolate chip recipe. So does that mean chocolate chip is the perfect cookie? Well, according to Chat GPT, it is. But I also noticed it uses a method which I like to use, and that's 2 kinds of sugar, equal amounts of both caster sugar or granulated sugar in this case, and soft brown sugar. That creates a lovely, crisp, chewy cookie. So it's doing something that I already do. So that's good to know. And the third and final thing that stood out to me was that it included nuts in the recipe as optional, but it included nuts. So does that mean chocolate chip and nuts is the perfect combination? Quite possibly, because nuts and chocolate do go together very, very well. But obviously these are optional because there are plenty of people out there with nut allergies. But I will be including them today because I want to basically do everything that it's given me at my disposal to create the perfect cookie. So I don't want to hang around. I want to see if AI can truly help me make the perfect cookies. So let's find out. Let's go. First thing it told me to do was preheat my oven to 180 degrees C, so that's what I've done. Also told me to line a baking sheet with parchment paper, so I've also done that. In a large mixing bowl, I've got to cream together softened butter, 250 grams worth, that is soft, along with 200 grams of granulated sugar and 200 grams of brown sugar. Soft brown sugar, I've gone for light brown sugar. As I said, this is a combination of sugars I would use in a lot of my cookie recipes because it really does create a beautiful combination of crisp and chewy cookies. So let's go in and let's cream this all together. That butter and sugar is nice and light and fluffy, so now I've got to add in 2 eggs, 1 at a time, and mix well after each addition. Number 2. And then we've got to add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I am being precise today, usually I'd eyeball it, but I'm following the recipe. Just going to get everything that's around the edges, into which goes 375 grams of plain flour, along with a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, which I thought was interesting because there's nothing really in here to react with the bicarb, but that's what it says, so that's what I'm doing. And also 3 grams of salt. Just whisk this all together. Then we've got to gradually add our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients until fully combined. Got to get in there with my hands for this last bit. We've got to fold through our chocolate chip cookies. I've got 200 grams of dark chocolate chip cookies here, and I am using nuts. So I've gone for hazelnuts. I almost went for macadamia nuts, but they are expensive. So I've gone for nice chopped roasted hazelnuts. So in there you go as well. And I'm just going to thoroughly mix this through the dough so it's all evenly distributed. I'm happy my cookie dough has all those chocolate chips and nuts through them, so now I've got to get them onto this baking sheet. So it says using a spoon or a cookie scoop, drop rounded portions of dough onto the prepared baking sheet, spacing them about 5 centimeters, 2 inches apart to allow room for spreading. Got a scoop here, so I'm going to use these. I'd say that's about 2 inches apart. Okay, those are all spread out, ready to go into the oven, and it annoys me a lot, but that is a very good cookie dough. That came off the scoop very easily, it's very nice to handle, and I think these are going to be good cookies, that's for sure. Perfect cookies, who knows, but let's get them into the oven, 10 to 12 minutes or until they're lightly golden brown around the edges. So let's get these in, 180 degrees C, 10 to 12 minutes. Computer, timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Play Mr. Roboto by Styx.
Mr. Roboto by Styx from Spotify.
Okay, these have had 10 minutes in the oven and, crap, they actually look pretty good. They have joined together as one, but that's fine. They have come out looking pretty nice otherwise. Got to do the rest of the cookie dough, so I'll make sure to spread them out a bit more. Perhaps I won't do 9 at once, but otherwise they do look pretty good. That's quite annoying. So I'm going to leave these to cool on the tray for a moment and then get them onto a wire rack to cool down. And then I'll just do the rest of the batch and then see how they taste and see whether AI has come up with the perfect cookie. I mean, they don't look like the perfect cookie, but that's probably down to human error more than anything else. Here we go, sometime later, all the cookies have been baked. And I'll be honest, that is a pretty nice pile of cookies. With the other batches, I made sure to space them out a bit more, and they have come out pretty nicely. They do look good. Look at the underneath as well, that is very nice. They are nice looking cookies. But are they the perfect cookie? That's what I want to know. And that's what I'm about to find out right now. Let's taste one and see if Chat GPT has made the perfect cookie through me by proxy. Because it can't do everything. There it is, what Chat GPT claims to be the perfect cookie. When I asked it to write me the best cookie in the world ever, this is what it said it was. It is chocolate chip and hazelnut. It smells really good. It smells like a really good cookie. It looks like a really good cookie, but is it the perfect cookie? That's what I want to know. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to break into this and see how it's come out. I picked like the biggest one, the heftiest one, because why not? So let's give this a bit of a break in front of the camera. That does look like a nice middle. I'll say that for sure. It has got the nice crisp edge and a gooey middle. That is kind of what you want from a good cookie. So let's give it a taste. It is good. It is good, I will say that for sure. You probably heard that crunch, that crispness from the edge of the cookie, but it has got the gooey middle. That is very, very nice indeed. It is good, annoyingly good. Have another look at that. It is a good texture. But is it the perfect cookie? That's what we're asking. This is the question we are asking. It is a very good cookie. For a cookie spat out by AI, it is really good. But I don't know if it's the perfect cookie. I will say it, I don't know if it's the perfect cookie. Reason being is because what's perfection? Perfection, especially with food, is different to everyone. Everyone's tastes are different. As far as a chocolate and hazelnut cookie goes, it is really good. But everyone's preferences are different. Personally, I prefer a chunkier cookie. I like something a little bit more adventurous, maybe white chocolate and raspberry or something like that. It's really good, but I don't know if it's the perfect cookie. And I'm not just saying that because I don't want AI to swoop in and start taking over recipes and everything. This is where the human element comes in. Everyone's going to have a different perfect cookie, a different favourite cookie. They're going to have different tastes, different needs. So we can't say definitively that this is the perfect cookie because it doesn't exist. It really doesn't exist. There are going to be people out there who can't have nuts. There are going to be people out there who aren't that fond of chocolate. They do exist, believe me, I know a couple. So you can't just say to an AI, write me the perfect cookie recipe, because it is just not going to take in various factors. That's where you have to get specific with it, tell it exactly what you want it to do. But what I will say, the thing that is good and also scares me a little bit is it takes out a lot of the thinking in terms of recipes, finding recipes, researching recipes, because obviously with the age of the internet, there is a wealth of recipes out there. If you put cookie recipes into Google or whatever, there are going to be so many, it is overwhelming. And you go, which one is the best one? Well, now you can just go to Chat GPT or any of the other AIs that are appearing out there and go, write me a brilliant cookie recipe, and it does it, and it is a really good cookie. And that is kind of where the scary element comes in, but also, again, a good element, because if there are people out there who are not used to baking or new to baking and want to make a cookie and just don't know where to start with all those hundred millions and millions of cookie recipes out there, because someone might go onto a blog for a cookie recipe and they end up reading someone's life story about how their grandma and their grandma's grandma and their grandma's 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 grandma made this cookie during the Civil War when dinosaurs were roaming around, and giving 100 million words backstory before it got to the cookie recipe. Nobody's got time for that. Now you can just go to an AI and go, write me a cookie recipe, and it does it. But it's still not going to do all the nuances for the human element yet, anyway. So, perfect cookie? Don't think so. Very good cookie? Definitely. So I'm going to go off and finish this very good cookie. If you want to see me do anything else using the AI, let me know. There's probably like millions and millions of ideas out there that we can do with it. This was the second video that I did with it, and I think I preferred this result than the pork knuckle, but it's a cookie, so you can't go far wrong. So I'm going to go off and enjoy it. And if you did enjoy this video, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to find out when new videos go up, and I will see you next time on Big Foodie Geek, assuming AI doesn't take over and take my job. Ta-ta! Also play Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Domino by Jessie J from Spotify.
That's not what I said! Computer, stop!